Hi there, everybody. Happy Thursday. We're getting closer and closer to that Labor Day weekend, and I have a look at your Labor Day weekend forecast, a couple rain chances we may find in the mix, but also some updates on today's forecast, too, what we can expect for the rest of the day after that rain chance this morning really falls off here shortly in the next hour or so. So I'll get you a look at all of that first. Want to get you a look at the rest of the day, though. So let's talk about that, then we'll move on to your Labor Day weekend forecast and what you can expect for your holiday weekend if you're trying to get out and about. For the rest of your Thursday, though, 80 degrees forecast high. So we've held on to a lot of cloud cover so far this morning and earlier this morning, though that's starting to peel away. We started getting some reports from MCI that they were seeing clear skies up there, trying to clear out that cloud cover, let in a bit of sunshine, blue skies, things like that after we kick out this morning's rain chance, and then that'll build us into a pretty nice afternoon with temperatures still staying very comfortable. Though, as I mentioned, that rain chance this morning is really wrapping up. If we look at radar of the past hour, we can see why. Very quiet, just a couple light spotty showers at most on the Kansas side, way down south of the metro. Cloud cover, though, still struggling to pull out of our southernmost counties. So we're seeing breaks of it up towards St. Joe, even here in the metro, starting to see that break apart ever so slightly. But check out what is driving all of that. And it's this massive rain and storm system that curved just to our south late last night into this morning. So still a lot of clouds surrounding that we're on the northern side of that system. We're still having those clouds, but later on today, we'll continue to break those up, let in more sunshine as the day goes on. Those clouds have also allowed a lot of us to stay in the 60s so far today. That's where you could see, again, on the Kansas side, but also all across our southernmost communities is where we're staying a bit cooler to start off the day. 70s up towards Maryville and Bethany, though. So that's where we're headed. As soon as we can break up more of those clouds, let in more sunshine, that's where we're headed here temperature-wise. Then again, 80 degrees is the forecast high today. Here's a walkthrough of your next few hours, finishing up your morning and going through the afternoon. We'll just have that steady warm-up. That's really all there is to find through the rest of the day. Is there will be a touch of humidity on hand. That's what's even giving us that cloud cover and in part of that cloud cover, but there will be a touch of humidity. Now that won't really be enough to make a crazy feels like temperature or crazy heat index of any sort, but just know that it's not the driest that we've been all week, and then we'll end up in the 70s for the majority of the afternoon. So by large, this afternoon feels good. It's going to be fine. It's going to stay dry rest of the day, and then most of your Labor Day weekend looks to follow suit. So it's going to be great couple days to get outside, especially Friday and Saturday. But then Sunday and Monday, we start to bring in a rain chance there. That's when we're going to have to watch very closely for some rain that could foil some of those outdoor plans. At this time, we're not looking at a washout this weekend, but with everybody trying to take advantage of their Labor Day weekend, that's definitely something that we have to keep close tabs on. We have 30% chances of rain on Sunday and your Labor Day Monday for that reason. So in recap, this is why today's first warn was dropped, and then we don't have another first warn on the board through the 7-day forecast just yet. We'll keep you updated if that changes, but outside of a few sprinkles we could find throughout this 10 o'clock hour, this is pretty much what it's going to be. Looking towards the north here, clear skies. Those will start to push southward through the rest of the day as that cloud cover then retreats. We kick that rain chance out entirely after this 10 o'clock hour. So by 11 a.m. we're done with the rain chances. We stay dry through the rest of the day, and future track radar can show you exactly what we're looking at here with that cloud cover and that rain chance both moving south over the next couple hours. And then even still, cloud cover on hand for some of us in the early afternoon before we really bring it out right around sunset, getting rid of the rest of those more gloomy skies throughout the rest of our day. As I mentioned, though, there were still a couple spotty shower looking activities on this future track radar. I think it's overdoing it, especially with the lack of rain that we've already found today. So I'm not anticipating any more rain even less than that, any impactful rain for the rest of your Thursday. And then rain chances don't come back till Sunday. So high temperatures today, still comfortable. Still in the 80s though for a lot of us. So that's where we're going to start to find this warming trend, closing out your work week and going into your Labor Day weekend, which is fine. We want to get outside. We want warm, kind of end of summer like temperatures, and it's still cooler than we would typically find for this time of year. So we're not having this return of this scorching summer heat this weekend by any means, but it will be a touch warmer than what we've had so far this week. So by Friday, we'll increase that afternoon high to 83 degrees. Saturday, a little bit more, a bit warmer, 84 degrees, reaching towards the mid 80s at that point. Then Sunday, we bring in the cloud cover and we bring in more of a rain chance. That means that we'll be cooler, so still cooler than average, but that does mean that we'll have to deal with that rain chance. But if you'll notice, and you probably already have noticed, we haven't gotten a whole lot of rain so far in the month of August. So if we are able to tap into it this very last day of August on Sunday, that means that we could help the fact that the U.S. Drought Monitor has now some color on it. We're now highlighted in that abnormally dry category. This was released just this morning, and it really comes as no surprise. We've struggled to get rain area wide, at least rain that accumulates. So we're a little dry so far this month, and that's a huge stark contrast to what we had just last month, where we had tons of rainfall, a lot of it which fell at the same time. So while the rain is not the most timely thing with Labor Day weekend and with the weekend forecast, which we're tracking for you, know that our environment's getting a little dry out there. We definitely need some rain, which we have the potential to find a couple different rain chances Sunday and Monday. So that's where you could see that a 30% chance both days. Now, this is not going to be for everybody, and we're not in the time frame where we've started to get higher resolution data. So we're still dealing with a bit of a blurrier view on what this rain could look like. But I will get you a very fuzzy and blurry look ahead on Future Track Radar of kind of what we're seeing in terms of signals that could be bringing us rain. First of all, we'll have building moisture throughout the weekend, so it's going to feel a touch more humid, not oppressive, but just a little bit more humid. Thankfully, those temperatures are still staying manageable in the low to mid 80s, so it's not going to be dangerous heat, but it's not going to be as cool as what we found earlier this week. Then here's where our models and those longer range ones are starting to pull in some rain Sunday and then continuing into Monday. Now I think it's more likely that we find rain Sunday night into Monday morning. I think that this model's doing a little too much on the rain. It's overdoing it, but it does still show color on the map on how that could affect some of our Labor Day plans. Also, something I want to note with this is that this is a longer range model, so it's not anywhere you see green. That doesn't mean it's going to be raining area wide. It puts larger bounds and blurrier boundaries on where we could find rain and where we couldn't. So it would likely look more like scattered rainfall inside of the area instead of this widespread green color that we see. I just don't want you to be too alarmed by what this is throwing out for Sunday and Monday, other than the fact that it is saying that we could find some rain both of those days. So that's something that we're watching very closely for you. We're not seeing any severe weather signals yet, but of course if that changes, we'll be sure to let you know. But we will be watching very closely for the chance to find some rain on our Labor Day weekend that could briefly interrupt some plans, at least, especially Sunday night into your Monday morning. Other than that, temperatures do stay comfortable in the low to mid 80s in the afternoons and in the 60s in the overnight. So whenever we're not finding rain, it will feel nice and be a great time to get outside, but just keep in tune with our forecast, and we will continue to iron out those details on what our Labor Day rain chance looks like. Okay, Janae, Hancock, and Taylor Johnson will be back here shortly with a look at your news headlines.
Welcome into the live desk on this Thursday morning. I'm Janae Hancock here with Taylor Johnson. Taylor checking in really fast before we get into headlines. How's it going?
It is going,
Yeah.
we're just holding it together. It's been a crazy week in the newsroom.
It has definitely been a busy week here in the KCTV5 newsroom, and it's also going to be another busy week come next week. I do want to start off with this story, something that we have been following since Tuesday. Tonight, the community will gather at a visual to honor the life of 26-year-old KCK police officer Hunter Simoncic. He was killed early Tuesday morning on duty when a suspect rammed him during a pursuit. That suspect, prosecutors say, will be held responsible, and KCTV5's Morgan Rydell joins us from outside City Hall.
I'm Morgan Rydell. The community continues to mourn the loss of KCK police officer Hunter Simoncic. A vigil will be held here at City Hall tonight that starts at 7:30. Roads nearby will be closed, so make sure you check your map. This will be held right around this patrol car. This is Officer Simoncic's patrol car, where this growing memorial of kind words, flowers, even a Bible has been placed on top here. But as this mourning continues, prosecutors are working with the officer's family to determine if they'll be seeking the death penalty in this case. We should know more after that suspect's first hearing.
And keeping on Officer Simoncic, he will be laid to rest next week. His services are going to be held on Wednesday at Children's Mercy Park, and it will be open to the public. The service is set to begin at 10 in the morning, and then a procession will follow after. We will be bringing you that coverage right here at the live desk.
And we are also learning more about the two people killed in this Clay County plane crash yesterday. Police believe that Mark and Vicky Speltz from Chico, am I saying that right?
Yes.
California. They were the only two people on board. The plane smashed into a field north of Mosby, Missouri. When crews got to the scene, it was engulfed in flames, and authorities say that the crash happened as they were trying to land.
Now to Minneapolis, where the first week of school was marred by a horrific shooting. We brought you some of those live images yesterday right here on KCTV5 Plus. Police say a suspect opened fire on a mass full of Catholic school students, killing 2 young children and wounding 14 others. Authorities say that 3 adult worshipers, all in their 80s, were also hurt. CBS News' Nidia Cavazos has more from Minneapolis as police search for answers.
Prayer services and a candlelight vigil in Minneapolis as the community comes together after unspeakable tragedy.
We are a city united in grief. Let us take the next step to be a city united in action.
Hours earlier, police say a suspect shot through the windows of an Annunciation Catholic church during a mass full of students from the church's school. 2 young children, just 8 and 10 years old, were killed.
This was a deliberate act of violence against innocent children.
5th grader Weston Halsney says he ran and hid under a pew after he heard the gunshots.
My friend Victor saved me though, because he laid on top of me, but he got hit. I hope he's good in the hospital.
Parents were visibly shaken as they later reunited with their children. Police say the suspect, identified as 23-year-old Robin Westman, died from self-inflicted gunshot wound. They also say that Westman was carrying 3 weapons, all legally purchased at the time of the shooting.
We're also aware of a manifesto that the shooter had timed to be released on YouTube. That content has since been taken down with the assistance of the FBI, and it now remains under active review by our investigators.
Flags in Minnesota and at the White House were lowered to half staff. The FBI says it's investigating the incident as an act of domestic terrorism and hate crime targeting Catholics. Nidia Cavazos, CBS News, Minneapolis.
A story we brought you right here at the live desk yesterday, and a tragedy that we will continue to follow in the coming days. Now, looking back here to the metro, a local school will not be open the rest of the week, I should say, and that's because of COVID-19. Holy Name Catholic School says it has just too many people out sick and needs to clean the building. It has been shut down for the past few days, and the school says that it hopes that this will give staff and students enough time to feel healthy once again. Classes are set to resume on Tuesday.
Well, now to a new law that guaranteed paid sick leave for Missourians. That ends today. Governor Mike Kehoe, he signed a bill into law rolling Proposition A back. Now, voters overwhelmingly supported to have paid sick leave back in November. KCTV5's Gabby Luma joins us to explain why Governor Kehoe is calling this pro-business.
I'm KCTV5's Gabby Luma. Today marks the official end of paid sick leave for all workers across the state of Missouri. This comes after Governor Mike Kehoe is rolling back part of Proposition A, a wider effort in the state of Missouri to not only have paid sick leave, but to make the minimum wage $13.75. That was raised this year. Now, there is a possibility this could come back on the ballot in November. There's a petition out right now trying to get this a constitutional amendment on the ballot, which would mean lawmakers would not be able to change this if it was signed into law.
And moving along with your news headlines this morning, a law, or I should say diapers and feminine menstrual products in Missouri, they will be cheaper starting today. It's because of a new state law. Missouri is ending the luxury tax known as the pink tax. It is a tactic used to increase the price of products marketed towards women. The law reduces the tax of these products by 3%.
And now to another story that we've been following for a while. So more shops around Johnson County, they're putting the brakes on e-scooters and e-bikes. Now take a look at your screen here. These are all the shopping centers that now ban them both. The restrictions do apply to those 17 and younger. Last month, the shops of Prairie Village banned e-scooters and e-bikes. And that also brings us to this morning's safety alert. Those bans across the metro, they come because of serious injury risks. A new study shows that the number of reported injuries continues to grow across the U.S. So if your child has had a wrist, hand, or shoulder injury, doctors say it's most likely due to riding e-bikes. Of the 20,000 injured in 2022, 3,000 were hospitalized. And that's why doctors recommend that your child wear a helmet, watch their speed, and pay attention. And that's also why these local shopping areas are banning them. We do have more on this study. You can find it on KCTV5's news app.
And the city of Independence could be getting a massive new gas station. It's not the size of Buc-ee's, but it's still big enough to turn heads along I-70. KCTV5's Ryan Hennessy spoke with city officials and checked out the proposed site to show us what could be coming.
Right now, it's just an empty parking lot, but soon it could turn into one of the largest gas stations in the metro. The plan calls for 42 dual-sided fuel pumps, 84 in total, enough to draw weekend travelers and enough to require new roads to handle the traffic.
Our busiest times are on the weekends. Friday, Saturday, Sunday are the big travel days.
That's Wally's co-owner Michael Rubenstein at Tuesday night's council meeting, talking about what would be their fourth store location. And it's bigger than your normal convenience store.
Similar to what Buc-ee's is, it's not nearly as big as Buc-ee's, and they will tell you that.
Still, the scale is much larger than what KC is used to. Take the restrooms, at least 20 stalls for women and a similar number for men.
They also bring a lot of EV charging stations within their development too.
12 EV chargers, in fact. Independence's city planner showed me the design plans, including required traffic upgrades. Wally's would fund a new right turn lane off I-70 and another lane leading to Lindcourt Drive.
They're trying to basically increase the capacity of the corridor to accommodate the Wally's development.
The location, a prime spot for travelers and a hot corner for development.
In this particular case, you would think something of this size, yeah, there probably was some recruitment involved in that, but there was not. Wally's found this piece of ground, they purchased the piece of ground, and then started discussions with us.
Independence City Council is expected to see the plan in September and could vote on it in October. If approved, Wally's could bring new jobs, new traffic, and a new road trip destination to Independence. Ryan Hennessy, KCTV5.
Okay, so we have to chat about this because Taylor said she has never been to a Buc-ee's. I've never been to Wally's.
Okay, I've never heard of Wally's till today.
But
there's no Buc-ee's where I'm from, so
they're very rare. You have to go far to get a Buc-ee's.
Or like down south, right?
Yeah.
So
well, they're now expanding because I've only been to the one in Colorado, but I lived in Mississippi for a while. Never been.
Did they have them down there?
Yes, they had Buc-ee's. Never been.
So we had, because I'm from the East Coast, right? It's like Wawa, Royal Farms, Sheets.
Yeah.
That's
Wait,
about
what is
it.
called?
Sheets.
Never heard of it.
Sheetz. And they're all like of similar styles, but I like Royal Farms because they're known for like their chicken and their potato wedges, and then Wawa is about the sandwiches. But have you been to Meyer?
No.
So
are these all like southern, or like what part of the country are we talking?
So the ones that I just listed were East Coast.
Yeah, East Coast.
But then when I lived in Indiana, in Terre Haute, Indiana, they had a place called Meyer, and Meyer is kind of like Walmart, Target like. But I think they're based out of like Michigan. So Meyer was kind of cool. But yeah, Wally's interesting.
Something you'll remember.
And the point about the restroom stalls, the amount of restrooms they'll have
That's crazy.
That'll be great for a pit stop.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so I do want to end off with another fun story before we take a look at what you can do this weekend with our KCTV5's Bill Hurlbrink. But a Virginia deputy, he's actually getting some national attention. He's gone viral on social media for his dance moves. So we're going to take a listen into what he has to give and what exactly he's doing.
Day at work for Chesapeake Sheriff's Deputy Alvin Saunders consists of his badge,
2 years, going on 2 years. Yeah.
his gear,
Just because I have on this uniform doesn't take off that I'm a person.
his patrol car,
Dancing with the Stars.
and his dance moves.
All right, I see you, and I just had to join in. It's like just have fun with her and dance with her, and that's. I didn't know people were recording.
That lighthearted moment ended up circulating around several Chesapeake Facebook groups with a much deeper message.
And someone sent me a text message, "Hey, Saunders, I saw you dancing." I'm like, "Huh? What you mean?" So, I'm still processing it right now.
A Chesapeake neighbor named Paradise Smith posted the original video with the caption, "This is how I'd like my kids to be able to view and trust officers." That's her niece Aria dancing in the video with Deputy Saunders.
And it just brought me back to things that have happened in the past years, more so in the recent years, and where law enforcement has been looked at and with a negative connotation.
Smith posted the video in hopes of changing that outlook for her daughters and nieces.
What would you say is the most common misconception that children might have about police officers?
That we take people away, that we're scary, bad people, that, we're not scary. We're people just like, mom and dad. We have children too, we dance.
And that message is exactly what Smith is trying to show neighbors.
He wasn't just on duty or on call. He didn't only dance with his daughter, he danced with my daughter, he danced with my niece. And it just was a reminder that they are all human.
And from human to human,
Hey, how are you?
Deputy Saunders surprised Smith with gifts for her daughters and her niece on Tuesday.
It warmed my heart even more. I'm just like, oh my God. It was a shock to see him. I'm glad to see him.
How sweet is that? It's funny because aside from just, the positive message that comes out of this, what I found so funny is that he had no idea that it was posted.
That he was even going viral. Yeah. He was just having fun being in the moment with that child, and how sweet of a moment to go viral and taking away that message that, they are human too, and just that personal connection there that we don't always see. So I thought that was very sweet, and a sweet ending too for him to return and have some gifts for them. So
they'll always remember that.
Yeah, they definitely will. So just wanted to share that with our viewers. So we are going to take a quick break, and when we come back, KCTV5's Bill Hurlbrink will be right here with his weekend picks, what you can do this weekend. Wait, really fast, actually, Taylor. Let's go to the social media platform X. So we know everyone literally in the world right now is still just on cloud nine following Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's engagement announcement this week.
Oh, look at the ring.
So the otters at the Kansas City Zoo and Aquarium, they are also joining in on the fun. You can see the statement coming in. You know what? You got, or you knew what you wanted, and boy, you got her. Congratulations on your engagement. So I thought that was very sweet, and we're going to leave you with that.
How precious.
with the wheels.
Yeah, we used to just have to do a scat too.
Ooh, yes. Oh.
Yes. And it is my pleasure to welcome you to the American Jazz Museum. Thank you for coming to.
How simple is that? Bring people, expose them to the things that we're doing. I just start coughing with beans. That was kind of interesting. Hello, how are you? Pleased to meet you. Hello, how are you? Pleased to meet you.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Bill Hurlbrink and Janae Hancock with you for another edition of Bill's Weekend Picks. You look like a giant over there. My goodness. Let's fix that.
I finally look taller than you, Bill.
Finally, yeah, and I look super short. That's okay. Janae, thank you for joining me for this edition of Bill's Weekend Picks. It's something we do every single Thursday here on KCTV5 Plus. We run down a handful of things going on this weekend, and with it being a holiday weekend, you know there is a million things to do in Kansas City. If you find
still
ways,
need plans.
Oh, I got you covered. Don't you worry. Although I'm really jealous of you being taller than me, so I'm going to fix that real
Zoom
fast.
it out for me.
There we go. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get
shot.
started because this is really the weekend of festivals getting underway. We have so many festivals that start even actually as early as tonight, Janae. So let's go ahead and head over to Independence for the Santa Calagon Days. That gets underway this weekend in the historic Independence Square area. Now, the carnival is already starting. It's starting tonight. It runs through Monday. The festival itself runs Friday to Monday. Lots of entertainment here out on the main stage. Excuse me, Friday night, got all choked up thinking about it. Friday night, it's Fast Times and the Women of Rock Tribute. Jason Craig and the Wingmen and Phil Vassar, country star Phil Vassar, is going to be the headliner on Saturday night. On Sunday, you can catch Sebastian James and the Rock Gods. And again, this is truly a community festival. It happens in Independence every single year. It's a great one to check out. The best part about it, completely free to get in, no admission. You do have to buy a wristband or a ticket to enter the carnival area, though, so keep that in mind if you want to go to the carnival and try to win yourself a prize. Parking is at the Community of Christ Auditorium, and the best part about that, it is also free. But again, there's shuttles that run from 7 to midnight on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 7 to 6 on Monday. For all the information, go to santacalagon.com, and I will give you a KCTV5 fun buck if you can tell me the 3 trails that Santa Calagon represents.
I can't do it, but what I can add, you said Yeah, we have someone on the desk who wants.
Are-
So I have to ask, what do you? Oh, well, I'll let you answer it. Go ahead.
Oh, well, the 3 trails is actually the same 3 trails from 3 Trails Memorial Crossing, which is the other name for the Grandview Triangle. It stands for the Santa Fe Trail.
Okay.
It stands for the California Trail.
Okay.
And it stands for the Oregon Trail. Those are the 3 trails that originated out of Independence as people were migrating west during the 1800s.
So do I still get my KCTV5 buck just for
It's
participation?
a KCTV5 fun buck.
Fun buck?
And you can only spend it. I don't even know where you can spend it
Okay.
at, but yes,
At
you can
this,
get a
station in here in the break room.
Yeah, you can spend it in the break room. That's right.
No,
You
but
get-
I've met Sebastian James. He's actually
really?
been here to the KCTV5 station.
Oh, cool.
So he's a really sweet guy. Excited to see that. And then also, I have to talk about food, Bill.
Yeah.
What type of food do you like at these type of events?
Fair food. Anything
Yeah.
deep fried is
Deep
fantastic.
fried.
I mean, I'm a funnel cake dude.
Yeah, I was gonna
through
say
and
that.
through.
Yeah.
Love some funnel cake. You know, like corn dogs are great too. I mean, come on.
Ooh,
Nothing
yeah.
beats walking around with the corn dog,
Yeah.
riding some carnival rides that you probably shouldn't be riding,
It's
and
okay.
trying to win your sweetie like a stuffed animal or something, right?
Oh yeah, no, I make my boyfriend work hard at those shows.
Sounds about right. Okay, let's move on to another festival happening this weekend. This one's going to be in the Crown Center area. This is a staple of Labor Day weekend. It's Irish Fest. It's back this year at Crown Center. Runs tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. If you go, remember it's a cashless event, so it's best to get your tickets in advance. You can get those at kcirishfest.com. They're about $30 a piece, maybe a little bit more as we get closer to the beginning of the festival tomorrow. Entertainment this year all over the place. Tons of great acts, including Gaelic Storm, the High Kings, and of course Kansas City's favorite Irish band, The Elders. Also lots of activities that'll immerse you in Irish culture, food, and drink. And of course this year, kind of in a sad note, but Sean Brady, of course, passed away about a year ago. They're going to have a breakfast for him called Brady's Brunch on Sunday, which it's a perfect name for it. And I know there were a lot of people around that have been really affected by his passing over the last year. So what a great way to go out there and celebrate his life and legacy as part of that brunch on Sunday.
Definitely continuing to honor his legacy. I knew they were going to do something this
Yeah.
year, but it was just a matter of what.
Of what?
I was talking about this last year. I don't think I was in town for this, but I might have to check out the Irish Fest because I know it's a big deal here.
No, it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of vendors down there.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never thought about buying a kilt, but going down there makes me think maybe I
Yeah.
need one. You know, you never know. With
Bill,
a
I
name
can
like,
see you rocking it.
the
come
name like
Monday morning.
Hurlbrank, a good Germanic frame like this with
Yeah.
a kilt on it.
I love it. I see it. I see it right now.
All right. Well, if you also want to dress funny, you can maybe head out to this place too, because this is another festival that get not dressed funny. I know there's a lot of people that get really serious into
Right.
it. It's the Renaissance Festival back this year out in Bonner Springs near Sandstone and Wyandotte County Park. This gets underway Saturday and Sunday. It also is open on Monday, but this weekend only. It's then going to run every Saturday and Sunday through October the 13th. You can go to KC Renfest for tickets. Keep this in mind. You save $5 if you buy your tickets online instead of at the gate. So buy your tickets in advance. Save a little extra money because you think you can save that money and buy turkey legs when you get
Yes,
to the
and walk
Renaissance
around with
Festival.
it.
There's also theme weekends and some pretty fun special events like kegs and eggs and everything happening. And you can see all of those at kcrenfest.com. And of course, there's a marketplace and plenty of entertainment for everybody. I mean, who doesn't want to see a young lady like that juggling fire? You know,
Didn't
on
they
a
create
Saturday
a
or Sunday.
film about this?
I don't know. Did they?
I don't know. Well, I'll have to talk to Vince, who works here, but I'm pretty sure they did.
Okay. Well,
But
wouldn't surprise
anyways,
me.
I
Bless
heard
you.
it's spectacular. Bless you. I heard it's spectacular, so I'm gonna have to check that out.
The Ren
at
Fest
some
has been
point,
ongoing
too.
for so long. I remember going to it when I was a kid. I bought a sword there. It was a wooden sword. It wasn't like, you know, a legit sword or anything. But I think I still have it somewhere over at my parents' house. So
I
it's
love that for you.
stood the test of time. I love that you love that for me.
And it is a good deal too, because you said
Yeah.
if you purchase it online, you don't even have to worry about it when you get there.
Mhm.
It's all ready to go.
So keep that in mind if you want to go out to
Yeah.
the Renaissance Fest. And again, that's a good one that runs rest of this month. Oh, keep in mind, only Saturday and Sundays, but it also runs the month of September and then half of October as well. Big day tomorrow here in Kansas City. One of our native sons, we're celebrating his 105th birthday. He's no longer with us, but he was a pioneer in jazz and culture here in Kansas City. Of course, we're talking about Charlie Parker. The Yardbird tomorrow would have been his 105th birthday, and there's lots of things happening at the American Jazz Museum down in 18th and Vine. So they invite you to come out there early on. There's a breakfast early on that you can go to at 7:30. At 8 o'clock, they're going to gather around the statue. We have video of that from last year and kind of do a tribute jam to him, kind of. That's Bobby Watson on the right there, and I think that's Lonnie McFadden on the left. Lonnie's going to be there again tomorrow, as well as Dan Thomas and Gerald Dunn, an amazing saxophone player there. Throughout the day, there's a lot of storytelling, and then you can actually catch a shuttle over to Bird's gravesite, so you can visit that and again celebrate his life and legacy. That night, there's a special show at the Blue Room honoring Charlie Parker. There's some costs to these events between $10 and $15, depending on what you want to go to. So just keep that in mind as you head out. But again, an extreme pioneer in jazz music. A lot of stuff that Charlie Parker did with like Dizzy Gillespie. Really pioneered the sound that was developed back in the 40s and the 50s.
Yeah.
But yeah, just it's crazy to think he was born in Kansas City, Kansas.
Yeah.
Like a block and a half away from where we went to high school. It's no longer there anymore. But he was called Yardbird because of the chickens that used to run around in the front yard.
Oh, I love that. That's a good fact. And
Yeah.
you know what? This was one of the first stories I did here in KC was to the American Jazz Museum, learning
Yeah.
about Charlie Parker and his legacy. So this is going to be amazing.
And there's so many good musicians in this town
Right.
that can dutifully pay tribute to an innovator like Charlie Parker. So
Right.
definitely something you want to check out. And if you can't do that, maybe just go to the library, check out a Charlie Parker CD. You go to YouTube and listen to Donna
Or
Lee
the Jazz
something like that.
Museum.
Or the Jazz
The
Museum.
Blue Room
yeah.
is really cool as
Blue Room
well. When I'm there for the first time.
Is amazing. It's set up
Right.
like an old club. It's got little circle tables and the stage
Yeah.
up front there. And again, talk about getting that classic jazz experience in Kansas City, in the district.
Right.
That's famous for that type of thing.
Right.
So, all right, let's go to our next event. Of course, it's the Kansas City Royals. They are back in town this weekend, taking on the Detroit Tigers at the K. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You can get out there and catch some great baseball. 7:10 on Friday night, 6:15 Saturday night, and 1:10 on Sunday, which, by the way, you can catch that 1:10 matchup right here on KCTV5. Now, tomorrow night, it's Fireworks Friday at the park, and you can also get a Bobby Witt Jr. bobblehead giveaway for some of the first 20,000 fans. It's also Nebraska night as the Royals salute Husker fans, who, by the way, they're playing tonight across the parking lot at Arrowhead.
Yeah.
Saturday is going to be Hawaiian shirt giveaway night, so maybe we'll see Andy Reid there, or Kenny Price. Kenny Price is one of our photogs here at KCTV5. Every Wednesday, he wears a Hawaiian shirt, so maybe you can go out there and get a new one.
calling him.
That's right. On Saturday, that's Saturday. Sunday is Pasquatch vinyl figure giveaway day, which you can see the
Interesting.
picture on their website. Here, let me show you what it is. Here, talk while I navigate the website.
Yeah, I'm very interesting. So I went to my first Royals game, I believe this year.
Oh, yeah?
And, okay, so I grew up watching the Rockies, and that was very devastating. So I didn't really have fun
As
at
it should be.
baseball games. But when I went to the Royals game, I believe they won that game. And it was just a lot of fun, just the atmosphere, having the barbecue there, having my Z-Man. It was really, really fun. So I have to ask you, I'm always going to ask about food, Bill. So what is your go-to baseball food? What do you like to get?
Oh, you got to go with the dog and a beer.
Okay.
And that's the only reason I say that is because that's James Earl Jones' line from Field of Dreams, when him and Kevin Costner get up to the concession stand.
A dog and a beer.
And Kevin Costner is asking him what he wants, and he feels like it's a philosophical question and starts going, "Oh, I want to be recognized," or blah blah blah. And he's like, "No, man, just what do you want?" He looks up. Dog and a beer.
A dog and a beer.
That's
It's
all I
that
want.
simple.
So
My
it's
mom
that
told me she
simple.
only drinks beer when she goes to a baseball game. So, hey,
as
it makes
should
sense.
be, as it should be. So again, this is the Pasquatch little goodie right there that you can get on Sunday if you want to go there. That's for the first 10,000 fans, and of course it's 4-pack.
Oh, that's so cute.
Thing you can get, and then the fun run following the game. Usually you can go down and run the bases there with the kids if you want to do that. So that'd be a fun thing to do as well. Monarchs, I believe, are also in town this weekend on the Kansas side. I'm actually going to the Monarchs game tomorrow night.
Oh, that'll be fun.
So really looking forward to that. I just love baseball.
A lot of things to do this weekend.
A lot of things to do.
Bill.
Here's my last event for you. If sports isn't your thing, festivals isn't your thing, it's still going to be a fantastic weather weekend out there. And what a better way to get out than kind of explore some sites you might not have seen here around Kansas City. One of the best ways to do that is Urban Hikes KC. So since the weather, like I said, is going to be great this weekend, this is some urban hiking and exploring might be a fun way to spend some time. You can check out their Caw Point Urban Hike with tacos and live music tomorrow.
You had me at tacos.
Yeah, exactly. On Saturday, there's a Quindaro Ruins Urban Hike and a Strawberry Hill and downtown KCK hike. Now, those were limited. There may not be any tickets left for those. Oh yeah, those are pretty slim pickings there, unfortunately. So, but you can still go walk around Strawberry Hill if you want to. It's a great venue to go check out. And there's the Quindaro Ruins site that you can always go visit too and learn more about that. Which, if you didn't know, that's where folks used to come across the river from slave state Missouri to free state Kansas and find freedom here in Kansas. And then what was the last one on Sunday? Oh, here it is. Sunday, you can head over to, do you know we have a World War I memorial in KCK?
Yeah.
It's the Rosedale Arch. You can go there and see that, do a hike through that, plus the Volker and Roanoke bi-state urban hikes there. Now, again, these are a little bit on the pricey side. They're about $40 to $55 per hike, but you can learn and explore things that you may not have ever seen before right here in your hometown or in the town that you call home now. That's at urbanhikeskc.com for more information on those and to buy tickets.
Bill, I have to give you a quick shout out.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, people who are listening right now, this is your local tour guide. He has all the facts. He knows all the history, and he's
I don't
your
know all
go-to.
the history.
Well,
but
in my eyes, he does.
I was just
from
talking to
someone
our.
who's not from here.
I was just talking to our Julie up on the desk, and we were both like, we know a little about a lot of things, enough to be dangerous sometimes. So it's, but this is such a great town. Again, I grew up here, and we were just talking about the Royals games. You were talking about going out there and having your Z-Man and stuff, and it made me think about when I was a kid going out there when I was 4 or 5 years old. Back, the Royals won the World Series in '85, and I can remember going there '85, '86 when like Kevin Seitzer, Bo Jackson were playing, and it was the turf field, and they didn't even have the Crown Vision yet, or the video board out in left field where they used to have it at, and it was just the old yellow and black scoreboard with all the fountains. And did you know? I'll hit you. Did you know here?
See?
Ewing
Here you
Kauffman's
go,
wife, Muriel Coffin, designed the fountains to be a number one because the Royals were her number one team.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so when they put the video board and they kind of changed some of the fountains in the left field area, but it used to be designed as a number one.
The more you know.
The more you know.
And that's where you get it all from,
and
folks.
That's where
this
you get
guy,
it all from.
Bill
All right,
Hurley.
we have crushed 15 minutes now of Bill's Weekend Picks. It's, again, something we do every single Thursday morning here on KCTV5 Plus. We'd invite you to come back here and join us every single, heck, you can join Janae and Taylor here every morning at 10 o'clock
and
here
you'll
on
be
KCTV5
right here tomorrow.
Plus. And I will be here with your headlines tomorrow. Thank you for the reminder. I got to put that on my calendar. So until we meet again here next time for Bill's Weekend Picks, she's Janae Hancock. I'm Bill Hurlbrink. Have a wonderful rest of your day and go out and do something fun here this weekend.
Well, welcome back into another edition of Voices of the Newsroom right here at KCTV5. This is your opportunity to learn more about the anchors, reporters, and meteorologists who are the voices of our newsroom. So every other Thursday, we have it right here on KCTV5 Plus, and today we're doing something a little different. Usually, it's our Janae Hancock that's handling these interviews, but she's our guest today.
I'm in the hot seat today.
You are in the hot seat and with me. How do you feel about it? You excited?
I'm excited.
Okay.
I'm excited. You're behind the wheel right now,
Yes.
so I trust you. We're going to have a great conversation.
Well, thank you, my friend. Well, first of all, I want to give you a special congratulations. You just recently announced that you have been promoted here at KCTV5. You are our new weekend morning anchor, which means you're sticking around for a while. So just talk about what your experience in Kansas City has been for you over these last few years and what you're looking ahead to.
Yeah, so I moved here 3 years ago, which is crazy to believe because, Taylor, you were here.
Yes.
I was actually chatting with you before I even made my way to KC, and it's been an experience. I have met so many great people. I have learned so much, but I was coming from Mississippi, and I know that sounds like a shock for a lot of people. You can see this photo is actually from Mississippi. I was the weekday morning anchor there, and what's crazy is these two people I went to college with, and we worked for the collegiate station at Colorado State University together, and we ended up in Mississippi together. But being here in Kansas City has been an experience that I will never want to forget. I will never forget, I should say. And you can see how short I am just standing on that box next to Marlia and Joe, who used to work here.
They're just tall.
Yeah, they're tall. But I have met so many different people. I've interviewed so many different people. And it has truly been just a remarkable experience. This is me sitting down with the Exonerated 5. That was in Colorado, I should say. I'm from there. But yeah, I've learned a lot here, and to be the now weekday or weekend morning anchor, it's something that is like my wildest dreams, to be here in Kansas City and able to do that and bring the news still.
So happy for you and so excited to see what you're going to continue to bring. You have brought so much value here, you know, and stepping from behind the live desk and behind the big one, you know, that's exciting.
Yeah, no, I started off on the morning show, so I've kind of been all over the place here at KCTV, but it's something that I think has helped me in so many different ways, being able to navigate this live desk, which a lot of people may not know, but we handle the visuals, we handle the audio, we handle it all. And so if something goes wrong, everyone's looking at you because it's like, hey, you're the person, you're a one-man band, you should be able to know how to do this. But also just having a conversation with people, it's helped me with that, just really growing as a journalist. So the past 3 years have been great, and I can't wait to look forward to the next 3 years.
Yes, excited for you there. So take us back to your roots. I know you talk about being from Colorado, you're from Denver. So tell us about life growing up. Tell us about your family.
Right. Yeah. So I am from Denver, Colorado, born and raised, very proud of my Mile High State. We'll speak about my favorite team here in a minute, but yeah, I'm from Colorado, Denver. That's a picture of my family. I am the youngest. That's my brother Jordan. He's 3 years older than me, and then my parents, Michael and Mary. I love them. My brother, we had your typical sibling relationship, him being 3 years older than me. I would get on his nerves and want to follow him around, and he didn't always understand that. But yeah, there's my father. He was actually, fun fact, the mayor of Denver for 12 years. So my life growing up in Denver, it was always under the spotlight. You were always being watched, which is like a good and bad thing sometimes. These are my nieces and my nephew, who I love so much. And like I said, I went to Colorado State University. So there are my graduation photos. I actually graduated during the pandemic, which was a time very sad.
We have a friend over
here.
Yeah,
I have Neil Jones over here. These are my two best friends, Savannah and Domenica. We all went to school together at Colorado State. Savannah, fun fact, we've known each other for 20 years. We've been best friends for 20 years. And there is my boyfriend, biggest cheerleader there. That's us at the Emmys. And here's a fun fact about me as well. I love to eat. And so you can see that started at a very young age.
And the bib was too cute. It's bigger than you.
Yeah. I love to travel. I don't even remember where that's from, but yeah, I love to do all those things, eat, travel, hang out with friends, yoga. I need to get back into that. I know you're a huge yoga person,
Yes.
Taylor. But yeah, family is a huge thing for me, friends, and just being around loved ones. But yeah, I'll let it go back to this photo of my family.
And that's such a nice picture too.
Yeah, so I will say, if you can pause that really fast, just giving like a quick shout out to my parents. And I don't want to get emotional, but just giving a quick shout out to my parents, because I truly would not be the woman that I am today. I wouldn't be in this position had it not been for them, because I talk about my boyfriend being my biggest cheerleader, but obviously they have been my biggest cheerleaders despite like the ups and downs and being in that political spotlight, like I've already touched on, which is hard as a child growing up, being a teenager, and going into adulthood, but we have navigated it all. They've showed me like how to have tough skin and how to get through it all, so I have to give a quick shout out to them.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you know, another thing too, just in general, this business, you know, it takes us away from our families.
Right.
And you've lived in Mississippi, you lived here. How has that been for you, just trying to maintain also that close connection to your family, since they're so important to you, and having to live away from them for so long?
Yeah, so I have not lived at home. I moved out 5 years ago, which is crazy. I'm coming up on that anniversary. But we're such a close-knit family. And I still call my mom multiple times a day, and she knows that. That is my best friend. And I talk to my dad here and there. But no, it's still, we still communicate. And I think that's so important. And my biggest thing, Taylor, has always been, you never know, tomorrow's not promised. And so that's why I always try to reach out to friends as well as family, and especially my parents, because, you know, they're a bit older. And so I just want to make sure that I'm keeping in contact with them. But moving from Colorado, knowing a lot of people there, and a lot of people knowing me, and moving to Mississippi, Meridian, Mississippi, to be exact, such a smaller community, it was a culture shock. But I will say it like helped me grow as an individual. It helped me grow as a Black woman. And it helped me grow as a journalist, just being independent and being on my own, because I think a lot of people, but I'll speak for myself, we become dependent on our parents, dependent on them to pick us up and to just be there constantly. And so I think that was the best move I could have ever made, was to actually move out of the house, especially during the pandemic, and to move on and be on my own. And so I wouldn't take that away. But yeah, I definitely still have my biggest supporters, my mom and dad, cheering me on now from Texas and Colorado.
And, you know, I really relate to what you were just saying as far as, you know, moving away and it really just growing you and shaping you. And in this career, we're kind of forced to do that because, especially if you're from a big city, if you're from Denver or like, you know, the DC area, you can't really break into the news in those markets as your first job. How
you have
we
to start
want to be
small.
Right. So you have to kind of step out of your comfort zone. And I remember when I told my grandmother, who I'm very close to, that I was leaving, she was like, no, you're not. And she eventually came around. But I always tell people that it was the best decision I made. It wasn't anything that I planned to do.
Yeah.
You know, but it just happened.
It's a move that you literally have to make, especially if you want to go into this field. I mean, things might be different now, but I know just 5 years ago when I was entering this business, it's like you have to start small and work your way up. And what was so hard during that time, during the pandemic, is that a lot of stations, they weren't hiring. They just shut their doors completely because they couldn't let a lot of people in because of the pandemic. But I was lucky enough to have a place like Meridian, Mississippi, WTOK, our sister station, hire me and take me in and really guide me. So starting off small, I would highly recommend it. I really, really would. But I have to go back, Taylor, really fast and give a quick shout out, because I said I have to touch on my favorite team.
Oh, yes. Okay, I was going to get to that.
Yes, and I think you have some photos there.
Yes.
But I specifically have to say this because I have some fans, some Chiefs fans over here behind you. I am a huge Denver Broncos fan, for those who do not know, me being from Colorado, born and raised loving the Broncos, and my dad said if I ever switched up, then I would be written out of his will. So there we are when the Broncos won the
out of the will.
the AFC Championship. I believe that was in 2016. We we went to San Francisco for the Super Bowl. So there are some photos there from that, the parade. I got to ride in actually with Chris Harris. So that was a really cool experience there. There's my dad, and yeah, so I'm very happy. I'm a proud Broncos fan, and those are my two best friends, Savannah and Dominica. But as you can see, since I was a baby, I grew up loving the Broncos.
And you know, on the topic of family, I wanted to take it back to a special member of your family who we all love so much.
Oh,
Miss Lola.
Oh, that's my little model. Yeah, that's my Lola baby. She's been with me for 6 years.
Wow, I didn't know you had her that long.
Yeah, so we're getting ready to celebrate her 7th birthday in November. Look out for the party invitation. But yeah, she is just the joy in so many people's lives, but especially mine. But like you said, everyone loves Lola. As soon as you meet her, you just fall in love. I know Jack, who works here in the newsroom, he's one of the producers. He met her just a few weeks ago, and now he's obsessed with her. So
yeah, she's so cute, so fun, super sweet. So just going back to the topic of your career, what would you say is just the biggest lesson that you've learned thus far?
The biggest lesson, we're getting deep, Taylor.
Yes,
the biggest
girl.
lesson that I have learned so far in my career. There are a lot.
And there's so much to learn.
Yeah, there is so much to learn. But I think one thing that sticks with me, I should say, is I have a mentor, Carlotta Walls-Lanier, and I think I told you about her. She was a part of the Little Rock Nine. And there's something that she said that I always think about. And I was actually just thinking about this ahead of my debut on the weekend anchor role last weekend, is know who you are and know whose you are. And that is just something that I will never forget. And people can take it in different ways. But I come from like a religious family. And so I take it that way. And it's just a reminder of, regardless of how much success you have or anything of that sort, you always want to keep in mind to remain humble and know who you are and know whose you are. Even if you're feeling down, I think it can kind of go to that as well. But never forget that, and never forget that you have that support system and you have something to lean on.
And that's really solid advice, because working in a high profile position, and I mean, I didn't have your childhood experience, but even, you know, kind of being in the public eye in that way with a prominent parent, a lot of the times, you know, people might try to pin their opinions on you, or, you know, try to create their own narrative about you or project onto you. And so I think just keeping that in mind, it really, really helps, especially in like the age of social media,
for sure,
where people have a lot of things to say.
Oh girl,
you know,
if only you knew. So what I will say, going back to that reminder, is, you know, being in Denver during the pandemic when so many people were against elected officials, it just kind of stuck with me. As I got off social media completely, and it just kind of stuck with me that you can't let these negative comments, you can't let what other people think they know get to you, because again, you have to know who you are. And it goes back to that tough skin that my parents taught me to have growing up. But it all just comes together. And I think, like you said, it comes back to where I am today. In my position, is you have to understand that people are always going to have an opinion, but you know who you are and you know whose you are.
So let's round it out a little lighter.
Yeah.
I know we got deep, which I love to do.
Yeah. I feel like I'm on I'm like in a therapy session.
Oh my gosh, I love it. That's so good. And see, and that's just the connection that we have here, which is so good. So, all right. What is like one thing that people do not know about you?
One thing that people do not know. Well, I already threw it out there. I'm a foodie.
Oh, we know that. That's not a secret.
I'm like,
we talk about that all the time.
All the time. What is one thing that people do not know about me?
And then the other question I would have.
Yeah, let's come back to that one. Let me think about that one.
If you weren't doing this job, what would you be doing?
Okay, so this is what I would be doing. I'm ready for this one. So when I went to Colorado State University, I was actually undeclared. I think that's what they call it. I was undeclared my freshman year, right at the beginning, because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew I was interested in journalism, but I was also interested in interior design. So if I could do anything else in this world, if I had another career, I think it would be that, just because I love interior design. I also love like planning. So I could do like a wedding planner, but I don't know if I could deal with like the bridezillas. So maybe not wedding planning, but I could do like event planning and stuff. So
Well,
one
I
of those
could
two
use
jobs.
you one day, I'm sure.
Yeah, girl.
And
call me.
you know I'm moving, so you can help me
Interior
figure out what my place
it comes
look
down
like.
to the lights, the color, all of it. So okay, so go back to the first question. What was the first question?
Okay, just a fun fact
Something
that
they
people
don't know about me.
you.
Oh, why am I struggling with this?
Yes.
I really don't know.
It's a hard one.
I know, because I feel like I'm an open book a little
Right.
bit. Like I'll tell you pretty much any and everything. Oh, so here's a fun fact. I was actually prom queen in high school, but what makes it so unique is that I'm the third generation of prom queens.
That's
so my
cool.
grandmother was a prom queen and my mother was a prom queen. And so when I won, I came home the next morning and I was on the news. My mom put me on the news that morning with my photo with my mom and my grandmother. So that is the fun fact that I'll share.
And
that
kind
a lot
of a
people don't know.
foreshadowing too. You
Yeah.
know, being on the news the next day.
Yeah,
and look at you now.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that's crazy.
I
But
love
I think
that.
that's something that a lot of people don't know.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything else right now.
So did you have to do like, because when I was in high school, they had to
Mhm.
do like a whole campaign, like put up posters, like vote for so and so for prom queen.
I just walked into class one day and my name was on the list.
Oh,
and
so
they're
someone
like,
nominated
okay.
you or
Yeah, they're
something?
like, it's time for you guys to vote, and I'm like, okay, voted. And I was like, I'm not gonna win this, because like I knew so many people on the list, and I was like, I'm not gonna win. And then when we went to prom, they called us all up to the front before they announced it, and I'm like, I'm not standing up there. So I waited back, and then once they announced my name, that's when I was like, oh, I've been here the whole time. Hey y'all, thank you.
So pretty much everyone at home, Janae, is that girl, okay?
No, but it was a humble winning. We'll put it that way. So because I was not expecting it at all, but I thought it was really, really cool to find out, because I didn't even know I was the third generation. So to
Mhm.
find that out on the news the next day was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's so special. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna round it out with one last question.
Okay, what's it?
Why a journalist? What does this work mean for you?
What does this work mean for me? I mean, you can put that in so many different ways, but I would say being a journalist means connecting with the community and making sure that voices are heard. And I really want to put emphasis on that, because so many times I feel like people, they have a voice, but they feel like they're not being heard. And I was one of those people growing up. And so that has always been my mission, is to make sure that people feel that they matter, and that their opinion matters, and that their voice matters. So that's what I would say being a journalist means.
That's awesome. It's really
Yeah.
important. You know, we are advocates for our
Yeah.
community, so we are very lucky and blessed to have you. And it was so fun to talk to you in this
I love
capacity. I mean, we talk
this.
all the time, right?
Yeah.
But it's great. I really enjoyed this. So.
Oh, thank you so much, girl. Taylor's next, y'all.
Okay, get
We're
ready,
putting her in the
y'all.
hot seat.
Well, thank you again for joining us with Voices of the Newsroom with our very own Janae Hancock. We are going to take a quick break, and then we will be back with some more of your headlines for today.
We'll be right back.
Another exciting thing tomorrow, Battle Sports KC Classic. Basically, all of that to say, Nebraska is playing here in Kansas City at Arrowhead. They're playing Cincinnati, and it looks like another really nice evening. While we do have the chance for some rain earlier in the day, I do think that falls off, and the rest of this evening looks really pleasant for Thursday. College football is back. Got some Thursday night lights here at Arrowhead, and we'll fall to the lower 60s at the end of the game. So might want a jacket or a long sleeve for later on. Generally, we've got a lot of sports even into this weekend. Royals have a home series. Afternoons will be warm, but those evenings and especially in the mornings, if you have any events, will feel like fall. Lots to look forward to this time of the year.
Peak hurricane season is exactly 2 weeks away now. But did you know that hurricanes are called something else in other parts of the world? Let's check in with Melissa, who explains what's going on here.
Well, if we start out with what's happening around the United States, the most common name in our name for a tropical system is the hurricane. So the Atlantic Ocean, we are off our eastern coast, north of the equator, it's called a hurricane. If we go to the west, in the Pacific Ocean, off of our western coast, that is still a hurricane. But if we continue to push off towards the west and enter in on the other side of the world, off of generally Eastern Asia, they are typhoons. That is the North Pacific Ocean. And as we go a little bit more towards the south, Australia is unique in two ways. We'll get to that in just a second, but they are called cyclones in the South Pacific Ocean. They actually rotate the other way than here. They rotate clockwise. And on the western side of Australia, something that we talked about a lot, me and our weather producer Markel, was that it could sometimes be called a willy willy on the western part of Australia. It's an old Western Australian term. And then as we head even farther west from there, as we are in the Indian Ocean, it's still called a cyclone.
All right, so we are going to turn to this week's We the People, America at 250. That's where we highlight the history makers from right here in Kansas City and our surrounding region. So today we're going to look back at a man who reshaped Kansas City in so many ways through both power and influence. Here's KCTV5's Gabby Luma.
As one of Kansas City's most rebellious and powerful leaders, Tom Pendergast leaves not only an imprint on the streets and buildings of our city, but the liquor, too. Can I have a Pendergast? Known as TJ or Tom, Pendergast is cemented in Kansas City's history as leader of the Pendergast Machine, a political organization that controlled local government.
Tom Pendergast was able to sway most elections during this couple decades in which he gained prominence.
Hailing from St. Joseph, Missouri, Pendergast rose to power while his brother James was an alderman for Kansas City's first ward, which Tom eventually took over. This was the beginning of Pendergast's machine.
Tom Pendergast won that competition, and he established his supremacy over the entirety of Kansas City's political landscape and that of Jackson County.
But the Pendergast family wasn't only in politics. Tom had his hand in nearly every cookie jar he could.
So a number of similar and adjacent industries, rock crushing, even quarrying businesses.
Tom became the owner of Ready Mix Concrete and was behind dozens of grandiose projects throughout the city. Those include paving Brush Creek, the Jackson County Courthouse, Municipal Auditorium, and more.
There were ample federal funds to assist in public works projects all around the city and the county. Those projects didn't have to be scaled back as a result of the federal influx of funds.
Another legacy Pendergast leaves is his involvement in the liquor business. He's the namesake of Tomstown Distillery and the Crossroads.
Because of him, there was no prohibition here in Kansas City. So the liquor was flowing like the Missouri River, over 200 speakeasies scattered around this location.
And Tomstown is just blocks away from Pendergast's headquarters, which is no coincidence. The owners are actually related to Pendergast. One's great uncle put Pendergast away for tax fraud. The other's great-great-grandfather had a competing malt business.
So they both have those very unique connections, and what better way to use those than to open up a business.
But all good things must come to an end. Pendergast's reign lasted until 1939 when he was convicted of tax evasion. Tom ultimately died in 1945 here in Kansas City, where he's buried at the Forest Hill Cemetery, and his memory continues to live on.
All the machine politics we hearken back to today in our remembrance of local history. All this took place right on the streets around us.
Reporting from Kansas City, I'm Gabby Luma, KCTV5 News.
And turning now to your eye on history, today marks 70 years since Emmett Till's death. That is the 14-year-old whose murder brought nationwide attention to the racial violence and injustice prevalent in the state of Mississippi. While visiting his cousins, or relatives in Mississippi, I should say, Till went to the Bryant store with his cousins and was accused of whistling at Carolyn Bryant. You are taking a look at a 9-foot bronze statue of Emmett Till that was unveiled in Greenwood, Mississippi, near the site where the 14-year-old was eventually abducted and lynched back in 1955. This has been recognized as the only official statue honoring Till right here in the United States.
And you know, I always think about the images of his funeral because his mother wanted it to be an open casket and he was unrecognizable. I'm happy that his legacy is being honored, but it's just also very unfortunate what happened to him.
That this is the only statue here in the U.S.,
Yes, and I think it was from Chicago originally. So we're going to keep on with history today. This also marks 62 years since the March on Washington, August 28th, 1963. Over 250,000 Americans gathered to advocate for civil and economic rights. The march, which featured Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s iconic I Have a Dream speech, is celebrated through events and reflections on its enduring impact on civil rights legislation, such as the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965. I remember having to listen to this speech in history class, and the words are still powerful, and I feel very relevant today still.
Yeah, it's crazy to take a look at this video and see just how many people were there. You said around... How many people? 250,000 people gathered at this site.
My grandmother was there. She was a high school student. I think she must have been probably about 15 during this time.
And it led to so much. I mean, you talk about those acts as well. But again, going back to that speech is something that I think we all had to listen to and learn. And to know just the impact that it made is historic. All right, we are going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back.
The Chiefs have a tough opponent week 1 in the Los Angeles Chargers, and they also face some logistical challenges that come with playing their season opener about 5,000 miles away from Arrowhead Stadium.
Hey, I mean, sometimes when you're trying to play football, it don't matter if it's in Brazil, in Arrowhead, or a Target parking lot. Football's gonna get played.
Fortunately for the Chiefs, they'll steer clear of supermarket parking lots. Next Friday's game kicks off in Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Getting the opportunity to go play across the world is always fun.
The 12 to 16-hour flight is a long time for players to stay still, especially guys like Juwan Taylor, still nursing a knee injury from last season.
It's a long flight, so just making sure I'm just keeping on compression sleeves on the way there. Once I get there, we'll see if I have to get a drain, possibly not.
Brazil's first ever NFL game last year between the Packers and Eagles made headlines for slippery turf conditions. Since then, the facility announced they've upgraded their field, and an NFL spokesperson says they're confident it's ready to go.
Coach Reed always tells us anytime we get to the stadium, just go test our cleats out pregame. Just, make sure you pack a good couple pair of cleats, just some options, so just in case the field is a little slick.
History is on Kansas City's side next week. The Chiefs are 3-0 under Andy Reid in international games.
I don't know too much about Brazil. I'm excited to go. It's my first time, going out to Brazil.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I knew about Brazil from Fast and Furious. Yeah, so I don't really know too much.
Marlia Campbell, KCTV5 Sports.
Alrighty, and turning to your entertainment news now. This is something I know that Taylor loves so much.
I do.
Rapper Cardi B, she took the stand for the second day in a row yesterday in a civil assault trial against her. Former security guard Imani Ellis claims that the musician attacked her outside a Beverly Hills medical office back in 2018. But Cardi B says that Ellis was recording her on a cell phone as she was trying to get to an OBGYN appointment. She claims that the two exchanged words and feared it could escalate. Cardi B says that Ellis is trying to get money from her, and the trial could go until the end of next week.
I feel like Cardi B's been involved in a number of lawsuits.
Yeah,
recently.
and here she is, still showing up fabulous. So
and cussing. You see? Oh my gosh. Okay, so those movies and TV shows that you've purchased on Amazon don't actually belong to you. Did you know that?
that is crazy to think about.
So now
because they cost so much.
They do.
I'm sorry.
You have to rent. You have to rent. You have to pay to rent it, or pay to buy $15. I think to buy a movie. So I don't really use it like that. But they're facing a lawsuit over this situation. So a proposed class action lawsuit was filed last week in Washington federal court against Amazon, accusing the company of a bait and switch. So the person who filed the lawsuit says he purchased episodes of a Nickelodeon TV series in May, but later found out that the purchases were no longer available. What's up with that? That's due to fine print that states the buyer has agreed to Amazon's terms. The lawsuit is seeking unspecified damages, including damages for alleged intentionally malicious conduct. I mean, these companies know that. I mean, we should be reading the terms, but sometimes the terms are like 20 pages long.
Yeah, I know.
Something like that I feel like should be a little bit more prominent.
It's so unfortunate when you have your mind set on watching something or eating something and then you go and it's not there. So I can only imagine.
Ready to
I can only imagine the frustration to have your, because that's serious. When you have your food ready to go and you sit on the couch and it's like, okay, I'm going to turn on my show that I just paid $20 for.
Yeah.
And then it's gone. So we'll have to see how that plays out, but I understand.
And you know I'm not very happy with Amazon today. So we're
yeah, she's going through it. Amazon, you will be hearing from Taylor Johnson.
They have
soon.
already. They're going to hear from me again.
All right, so I do want to move on to this story that I think is pretty cool. Kind of going back to Denver, Colorado, doctors often say that staying active and engaged as you age can add years to your life. And a senior life center in Denver, some residents are finding that connection in an unexpected way. A social robot by the name of Ryan. Here's that story.
In a game of mahjong, every move matters. Mary Vapp loves the competition.
Now you lost my concentration. To
as she sorts through the tiles at Kavod Senior Living with Karen Woolman.
You get a bunch of Jewish women together and you're on your own.
The occasional friendly jab is all part of the fun.
These two ladies are cutthroat. That's not on the air, is it? No, I gotta be careful.
But this game is serving a deeper purpose by keeping these women active.
Automatic door. Great.
In a place where isolation can be a problem.
This is my husband, Douglas.
Mary lost Douglas 6 years ago before moving into Kavod Senior Living in Denver.
And he was at peace. It was beautiful, actually.
6 years ago, Mary lost Douglas 6 years ago before moving into Kavod Senior Living in Denver. And he was at peace.
It was beautiful, actually. 6 years ago, Mary lost Douglas 6 years ago before moving into Kavod Senior Living in Denver. And he was at peace. It was beautiful, actually. But it was lonesome.
Mary never thought she'd live with anyone else.
Now we will work a bit on our biceps.
Until a man named Ryan came along.
Become aware of any sensations in your body.
Ryan is a companion robot that can play games, hold conversation, and even do yoga.
Find a comfortable seat.
Yes, I got my seat.
Sit up nice and tall.
Mary can't even fathom how Ryan works.
Now return to breathing in through your nose.
That mechanical stuff, that's not me at all.
Thankfully, there is someone who understands.
Yeah, so of course we know, we have designed it.
Mohammed Mahour is the brains behind Ryan.
As you can see, Ryan can recognize my facial expressions.
Hello, it is great to hear from you again. What is new with you today?
Can you tell me a joke, Ryan?
He's been perfecting the social robot for 16 years on the DU campus.
He's a teenager, yeah.
Like any teenage brain, Ryan is still a work in progress. Fixing those problems in the lab is one thing.
What do you do with your dogs?
My what? My dogs? I don't have a dog.
Mary's job is to offer advice from the real world.
He asks the same questions all the time, like maybe a few more new questions.
Despite his flaws, Mary sees potential.
Get the purpose of it and what they want to gain from teach people is awesome.
Mary.
Yes, dear, come.
Hello.
Come.
How are things going?
Christy Martinez, Kavode's assisted living director, is glad to have the help.
Everyone has their times that they get a little lonely, so I think Ryan fills that space and gives them all that extra attention.
Like I said, I am going to miss him waking me up in the morning. I know.
I can always come in.
Yeah, you can.
Mary isn't sure what her husband would think of Ryan.
He wouldn't like that voice in the morning saying to get up. Who's that guy?
Mary's time with Ryan is coming to an end.
Feel the rise and fall.
As he moves off to another resident for more testing.
I have to go back to the alarm.
Laughter will still be a part of Mary's life.
Oh my goodness.
And she's happy she got a chance to develop a new kind of friendship.
He's supposed to give you the compliments.
Yeah. That's different than in marriage.
All right, Taylor, I have to get your reaction.
No robots for me.
What are your... I have to...
No.
As soon as we started playing it, she said, I
just don't know about it. I don't even use ChatGPT.
The companion robot. It's interesting. It's definitely interesting, and it's coming out of Denver, so...
So you gonna try it?
No. And I would definitely make sure that the people that I know that are in senior living facilities don't try it as well.
Yeah, and she was saying it asks her the same
different
questions over again. So is it
but
really
it's a companion
helpful?
for them. It's someone to talk to.
But here's the thing: robots don't have feelings.
They don't.
Can you really be a companion if you don't have feelings?
It kind of reminds me of like a movie or something, and you said that.
iRobot.
Yeah, so we'll have to wait and see how that works out for them. We do have some more entertainment news we want to get to before we take another break.
All right, so Ariana Grande, does she have like a name for her fan base? Like,
I don't know. I'm not a fan.
I'm
So I don't know. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, to be continued on that part, but a new tour could be coming for her. The Grammy Award-winning singer posted a mysterious teaser on social media today with the message, "See you next year," with the announcement loading Grande's last album, Eternal Sunshine, was released in 2024, and she has promised fans that she isn't leaving music behind amid new acting projects. If you remember, she was in Wicked, and she's also going to be in Wicked for Good, which is releasing later this year, and she will also appear in the fourth Meet the Parents film in 2026.
Okay, so I love Meet the
Parents.
Parents. And let me make this clear.
And now Ariana Grande.
I love her in Wicked. I do. Cynthia Erivo, they are like the best duo ever. I love them in Wicked. Cannot wait until it comes out in November, the second part. But I'm just not like a die-hard fan. I don't know. Like, you know how Beyonce has her Beehive. I don't know exactly.
Yeah, what are they? The Grandes? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think that she did post the dates because when we were on a break, I was popping through my Instagram stories.
And if you're an Ariana Grande fan, let me know what you guys are called, but I really don't know. But She's a great performer.
She did, and I think she did announce some tour dates, and it's not many places, but it's like California, Texas, Florida, Georgia, New York,
the big cities,
and then she's going to Canada and London. So she's not even coming here, based on what is already posted.
But those loyal fans will travel, and we know that.
Yes, because I have traveled for my people.
We
that
know
I love.
you have. She is always on the go.
I am.
And I will travel to the movie theaters to watch her in November in the second part of Wicked. Love her in that. All right, we thank you so much for joining us here at the Live Desk. We're going to take another look at your Eye on Entertainment, and then Taylor will take it away with your Travel Thursday.
All right.
Stars are sailing into Venice, from George Clooney to Laura Dern and many more, arriving Wednesday for the start of the Venice Film Festival. The 11-day event will see the premiere of Julia Roberts' new film After the Hunt and Dwayne Johnson in The Smashing Machine. Venice marks the unofficial kickoff of Hollywood's awards race.
And finding new ways to show people you care.
Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, is returning to Netflix for a second season of her lifestyle series, With Love, Meghan. Streaming now, the season includes more cooking and crafting in the California sunshine with a new array of celebrity guests. The first season was critically panned, but widely viewed. Netflix extended its deal with Meghan and Prince Harry earlier this month. And there's a new record for a book that's been entertaining us for decades. Guinness World Records is celebrating its 70th anniversary of chronicling and certifying everything from the world's shortest and tallest men to the most basketballs dribbled at once to, why not, the longest human tunnel traveled through by a skateboarding dog.
You're now a Guinness World Records title.
The book, created to settle bar bets, is now a global juggernaut with annually published record books, TV series, and more, and it's not slowing down anytime soon. That's your Eye on Entertainment. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Well, if you didn't know, check your calendars because the unofficial start of summer is here. All right, so this is what was supposed to happen. So the unofficial into summer is this weekend if you haven't checked your calendar. So that means if you're looking to squeeze in a final trip before fall, there is some good news there. Airfare and gas prices are both down. So travelers, they can look forward to the cheapest prices we've seen since 2020. Kansas and Missouri gas prices are also expected to be below $3 a gallon. I saw gas this morning was at $2.99, so like right on the threshold, which is much lower than the national average. So if you're hitting the roads this weekend for the holiday, AAA says that the worst time to travel is Friday between noon and 8 p.m. and returning home Monday between 1 and 4 p.m. And if you're flying, domestic airfare is 6% cheaper than last year. We're going to find out just how true that is with our now friend of the show, April Cowan. Thank you for being with us again.
Hi, everyone.
For another week,
How
another
are you?
Travel Thursday.
Yes, we love it. I love being here with you. Thank you so much for having me back, Taylor.
Yes. Okay. So from the things that I read just now, especially about domestic airfare being down, is that true?
Well, it is true in comparison to domestic airfare across the board over Labor Day weekend. Historically, Labor Day weekend is a fairly expensive time to travel. It does mark the end of summer, so everyone is looking to get that last minute weekend vacation, get that 3-day vacation in. But it is less expensive than typically, but more expensive than airfare would be throughout the rest of the year. I always acknowledge that holidays are a really popular time to travel, so encourage clients to book early. And if you are doing a last minute trip, a road trip is the best way to go.
And, I feel like every time it's a holiday weekend, AAA always sends us the numbers just about how it's going to be looking on the roads. And Labor Day seems to be one that's very popular where people drive Thanksgiving as well. So what are some additional tips for folks who are planning to hit the road, especially when it comes to like trying to beat that rush? I know they told us that leaving Friday between noon and 8, or the worst time is Friday between noon and 8 p.m. Is that something you agree with too?
Absolutely. Actually, if you're on a road trip for Labor Day weekend, you should be watching this from your car. I hope you're already on your way there because travel is going to be crazy all day tomorrow, both road trips and airlines. I want to say that I read that the airline is expecting somewhere near 17.5 million travelers between Thursday and September the 3rd for the Labor Day travel. So airports are going to be busy. The roads are going to be busy. This is the end of summer, and most people are really excited about that weekend trip because school's just started. So it's a great time for families to travel and get back in time for school.
And Labor Day is on a Monday, right? And then things get back to business on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Do you recommend people coming back maybe Sunday, or should they come back early Monday? What is like the sweet spot when it comes to coming back? I feel like those Monday holidays can be tricky.
They are tricky. And Mondays historically and Fridays are just more expensive times to travel because people are looking for weekend trips, right? And so Mondays and Fridays are more difficult to travel. My sweet spot for travel is always a Wednesday to a Tuesday, or a Thursday to a Tuesday, or maybe a Thursday to a Wednesday. So you can incorporate that Monday, that free vacation day, but traveling a little earlier or staying a little later will help you beat the rush as well as save you a little money on the flights and gas prices.
So today is Thursday, right? Obviously.
Yes.
And I had no plans to take a Labor Day trip,
Right.
but now I want to. So
You
what
should.
should I do?
If you're in Kansas City, I think that one of the first things, I'm born and raised in Kansas City, so Labor Day always marks for me one of my favorite things, which is the Renaissance Festival is about to open. And so weekend trips around Kansas City are really easy if you're not looking to go far. The wineries, in Weston, Missouri, driving up to St. Louis. We have some really great hiking trails and different things that you can do for a really short semi-staycation if you're a last-minute traveler. Now, the myth that you can go to the airport and get a last-minute airline ticket for cheap is gone. That doesn't really exist unless you have a standby certificate. So if you're looking to fly somewhere, you're going to still pay peak prices. But there are some really great places that you can drive around here in Kansas City and greater surrounding.
And speaking of driving, I want to take a look really quickly at our gas prices here.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
this is for Kansas. Oh no, this is for Missouri.
No, that's for Missouri, yep.
Yep. So the national average in Missouri is $2.87, and then the national is 3.21, which is pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it did fluctuate though because so I'm on the Kansas side right now. Gas the other day was like $2.91, and I was so excited.
Yeah.
But then I left out this morning and saw that it was $2.99. So I'm just like,
I am horrible when it comes to monitoring gas prices because I'm a passenger princess. I am not going to lie. But even more importantly, I still remember when gas was $1.19. So it always seems high to me, will always forever seem high. However, in comparison with family travel, I have seen many more of my clients opt to drive to destinations, whether it be a cruise port or somewhere local, than fly, especially as it pertains to family travel and gas prices in comparison to airline prices.
Yeah. And I need to just kind of get over myself a bit because I don't like driving long distances.
Me either.
You know, it's just not my jam.
Me
but
either.
Sometimes it probably could save you a little bit of money on the
It
back end,
could.
especially if you get like some good gas mileage, depending on the destination. But sometimes for me, anything over like 3.5 is a little rough.
Yeah, my max is St. Louis. I tell people all the time, and that is my max. That is 4 hours. I will drive to Minnesota because my son lives there, but that is it. And that's still far and few between. I'd much rather fly to both of those destinations as well. But again, Labor Day marks the end of vacations for families and kind of the beginning of the vacation season for singles because less kids are going to be in a lot of the destinations that you would typically see kids. They're in school right now.
Right.
And so if you are a single person and you're looking to go to a resort that maybe is not necessarily adults only, it'll likely be less occupied by children than it would have been a month ago or midsummer, which is family peak season. So right now we see our families doing shorter, closer vacations to home. We see our young people and our singles who are not students going out and taking advantage of some of the off-season pricing for the longer vacations and incorporating that free holiday into that vacation time.
And that's something I actually never really thought about. You know, post Labor Day, it being a prime time for people to travel to places where you might not be around as many families or as many kids.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we talked about destinations locally that would be good for Labor Day. What about, I mean, like you said, last minute flights is probably not going to be a thing.
Yeah.
But if we were planning ahead, what would be your recommendation?
So I think that Labor Day weekend is really popular for California, Napa Valley. The wineries, again, are really, really popular areas to go to for a weekend getaway. I think that one of the things that's also super popular, is New York is a popular Labor Day getaway. There's tons of shows and things to do in New York anyway, but the city kind of comes alive during Labor Day. And I feel like there's a third location. I know California and New York are really, really popular. I'm spacing the third location. That is a domestic flight that are popular. But a lot of people like to go to festivals over Labor Day weekend. So whether it's a music festival that we locate or just a town festival, barbecue competitions and festivals are really popular as well because it's the end of summer and everywhere but Kansas City, they think that barbecue is a summer thing. We barbecue year round, of course, here.
Yes.
But everywhere else, it's the end of summer. So there's a lot of barbecue festivals. And so a lot of different things to do. We just tailor it to what you're looking to do. Tailor, no pun intended. We tailor it to exactly what you want to do. So if you're looking for a last minute Labor Day weekend getaway, contact us at Travel Passion. Let's see what we can find that's within budget and experience for you.
Yes, budget is important,
Very
especially
important.
when you can create a good experience within your budget.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And I just can't believe it's the end of summer. I can't believe we're already
Technically.
here. Yeah, technically. Well, I guess what they call it, the unofficial end of summer.
Yeah.
I think the season actually changes in late September. But even just looking ahead to early fall, I know you talked about festivals. We're starting to see a lot of that happen.
Yeah.
I mean, what is also maybe a good place to go see the leaves change color, you know, things like that?
Oh, we have some really beautiful places around Missouri, and we have leaves everywhere in the greater Kansas City area. But if you're looking to go somewhere where the seasons have really started to change already, I always recommend to start heading north. And the northern part of the states to find different places. Minnesota is a beautiful place, very close, 6-hour drive if you want to. Beautiful lakes that you can enjoy, shopping, cottages along the lake in various areas. Another wonderful place that's right here that all Kansas Cityans are familiar with is going to be Lake of the Ozarks, right? Lake of the Ozarks, Labor Day pretty much sums up boating season for the most part, but that opens up a lot of the area for other activities and opens up quite a bit of the real estate if you're looking for a rental or a hotel as well. So we have both of those as options. And then again, if you're looking for something more domestically, something that's more of a flight, we always recommend going somewhere to either one of the coasts, east or west, and we're going to find some really nice things for you to do there.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Always so informative. Always
Thank
such
you for
good
having
information.
me.
Yes. I'm trying to get in my travel bag, so it's great to
We're
have
getting
you
there.
here.
Yes, you are absolutely getting there. One of the things, again, if you're traveling for Labor Day next weekend or next year, I apologize. Let's plan now. Labor Day weekend is a popular year to travel. I would know it's also my husband's birthday weekend, so I have to tell him happy birthday because it's his birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday, Christopher Cowan. And then for any other travel plans or inquiries that you have, again, we are always available at your service at Travel Passion.
Yes, I want to give folks a look at your site here
Okay,
so
wow.
they can reach out to you. And let's see, honeymoons, girls' trips, corporate travel, family vacations, destination weddings, cruises, which we talked about last week. And then event-specific travel. And I'm glad that that's there because one thing that I think would be a great conversation is traveling for Chiefs games.
Absolutely.
So that can stay tuned. That'll be something that we will talk about.
Absolutely.
Especially with like next week being the first game being in another country.
Yes. Amazing. That was an amazing opportunity for a huge group trip, especially for those who love international travel and the Chiefs.
Yes.
I am your girl. We were actually in London when the NFL game that was in London, it wasn't the Chiefs, was last year. And I did send quite a few clients to Germany when they were doing the game in Germany. So we definitely have experience with that as well.
All right, y'all. So you are in for a treat. You got an expert right here. You got a travel agent right here to hook you up.
And a Kansas Cityan. So thank you so much for having me again.
Of course. Well, we will see you again soon, April.
All right. You have a wonderful Labor Day weekend. Everyone be safe out there. Have an amazing time. And hopefully I'll see you next week.
Yes, you will. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
All right.
So this next story, it makes me pretty sad to read. So jeweler retailer Claire's confirms it is closing down stores in the metro. The company says the Leawood and Kansas City locations are among the 13 shutting down across Kansas and Missouri. The retailer listed more than 290 stores that it plans to close after filing for bankruptcy. The stores are expected to close on a rolling basis. Now, this is like a double gut punch because we just lost Forever 21.
Yeah.
We're losing Claire's. Like this.
They shut it down in Zona Rosa in the plaza.
Oh my gosh. And the one in the plaza was huge.
Yes.
The Forever 21.
It was like two stories.
Yeah, it was big. And it's just so sad to see these stores that made up our childhood, our teenage years, dying out. But, you know, everything is online.
I got my ears pierced at Claire's.
Did you?
Not my at first pierce. I don't know when that happened. But not my first piercing, I should say. I don't know when that happened. But the second, and I was on like a piercing craze.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's wild. And you just remember like the good times that you had in Claire's too. Like I remember like the studded belts that they had and like the little spiky earrings. So the fact that that's no longer, this next generation's gonna know nothing about
necklaces.
Yeah.
When I was in, what grade was I in? I must have been in middle school, maybe 7th or 8th grade.
Yeah.
We took a trip to the Maryland State House,
Okay.
and then we went to the mall afterward. They
Yeah.
took us to the mall to like eat at the food court, and I just remember all of us girls going to Claire's. We were so excited, and we wore school uniform, right? So that was like the one day where we didn't have to wear our uniform. We were having the time of our lives at the Annapolis Mall.
You guys are cute.
And Claire's was like a top destination. There's a picture of me on my Facebook from years ago, and I have on this
we're gonna
shirt
go pull it up.
I got from Claire's. I had on this shirt and like the little necklaces that you would layer with the beads.
With the beads, yeah, the beaded necklaces.
So
okay, we're
2005.
going down a rabbit hole. But the point is
20 years ago.
We're having some nostalgia here. The point is that Claire's has some memories, and
we're gonna miss them.
Yeah, we're gonna miss them. So again, the company says that the Leawood and the Kansas City locations are among the 13 shutting down. So very, very sad moment. But we do have some good news for you, and that good news is that tomorrow is Friday.
Yeah.
We will meet you right back. She is happy.
Was I too excited? I'm sorry.
No, tomorrow is Friday, and we are going to round things out right here at the live desk. So be sure to join us at 10 a.m. to noon. And I think that'll do it, Taylor.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, as always.
Have an amazing Thursday, Friday Eve.